Are you feeling stuck right now in your business? I want to share with you a strategy that I've used for a very long time to really help me break through plateaus in my business. And quite frankly, this is applicable to really any area of your life, but I've really used this in my business to really get to that next level. And I'm sharing this with you in hopes that if you're feeling stuck right now in your business, whether it's trying to get to that first $5,000 month, or you're trying to get through to that $15,000, $20,000, or wherever it may be right now. This will help you. So, if you're tuning into this live, drop a live in the comments section. If you're watching this on the replay, just put a hashtag replay so I know when this reached you. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, just a reminder, if you're enjoying these episodes that I'm putting out for you, my ask of you is if you can subscribe to the podcast, the School of Impact podcast, and leave a rating and review. Let me know what you thought about the podcast. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate you. And so this is a very informal episode. I was in conversation with a lot of people in this last couple weeks. As many of you know, we just ran our In Demand Fit Pro workshop. It was a workshop designed to help fitness coaches, health coaches learn how to leverage social media by creating content that converts. And we've had a lot of people asking us about our program. And so we made an offer, and we did a little launch this week. And oh my God, we've had 15, 16 conversations. Some people, if you're listening to this, I know you know my heart was in the right place. I had to turn some people away, but we've had about 8 people now, 7-8 people start. And so freaking pumped, so freaking grateful to be able to serve you to that next level if you're listening to this. And so anyways, in these conversations I was having, there was a lot of people that are feeling stuck, right? Rightfully so. Usually when we're reaching out, asking for support, asking for coaching, or maybe we're not asking for coaching, but we're still feeling stuck. A lot of times we are maybe in survival mode, right? Maybe we're feeling in survival mode. It's we've got to come up with money to pay bills. It's are we going to actually be able to, there's thoughts going through our head, are we going to actually be able to make our business work? And we, at least the people I was talking to, are trying. It's not like you're sitting with your hands behind your back. It's most people are trying. They're putting out content. They're doing marketing. They're actually actively trying to grow their business. It's not like they're doing nothing. And the strategies and tactics they're using, they'll work sometimes. They'll have some great months, and then other months are not good. And it's super frustrating when you're actually putting in the effort and you're not really getting the results that are in congruency with the effort that you're putting in. And what you really want is to be able to match the actual results to the effort, right? It's the results that you're putting in, whether it's you putting in effort to put marketing in your business, or if any area of your freaking life, even if it's with your body, right? And you're not actually getting the results, it sucks. And I know that's what we want, okay? And so here's the mistake that a lot of people make. And there's actually multiple mistakes, and I'm going to share with you the mistakes to kind of paint the picture of why I'm even talking about this, and to put context behind the actual strategy that I'm going to share with you. What people are actually doing is whenever they are struggling, it's either all in and they're going to continue to basically do more, efforting more and more effort. This is what's called hustle and grind. And I get why, right? Because it's okay, if what I'm doing now is not working, maybe I've got to do more to make it work. And the opposite is true. Sometimes people are F this, I'm out, screw it, throw in the towel, and then they go get a job and they go do something else, right? They just kind of give up on the thing altogether. Neither of those are great strategies. Neither of them are going to get you to where you actually want to be. I shared on, I think it was day 3 or day 4 of the workshop, a little story. I've shared this on the podcast before. It's been a while, but where I truly learned the strategy I'm about to share with you is when I was in my gym. We had recently franchised. The franchise thing didn't go really well. Anyways, we're not going to go into that story today. And there was a point in my business, I was, running a gym, a boot camp gym at the time. And it was at a point where we were going in debt, really in debt, couldn't even pay my staff, right? I had to take out loans and credit to be able to pay my staff. Couldn't pay myself a freaking paycheck, for quite a while during that time. And it was really stressful, right? And despite trying everything, hiring coaches, mentors, it's like I had great advice given to me, but nothing seemed to be working at that time. And I remember this pivotal moment of like sitting in my truck, and I was in my gym parking lot, and it was a Friday, right? Payday. And I remember having to go home, and I was gonna have to tell my wife, babe, I can't pay myself again, right? And I remember the feeling was just so freaking devastating. I was like trembling. I had my steering wheel just holding it tight, looking at myself in the rearview mirror. Like I, definitely was crying and shit. Like I'll just be transparent, right? It was very emotional during that time. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I'm gonna do whatever the heck it takes. I said some other, a little bit dirtier words. I'm gonna do whatever the heck it takes right now to get myself out of this, right? My daughter was just born. She was just a few months old at the time. I was like, I'm not gonna be this kind of dad, right? I want my daughter to see like what it actually takes to be able to like achieve whatever you want to achieve. And in this moment is where like I went down this journey, right? It wasn't like a genie came over me and just went blah, 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 right? And a genie's not gonna come over you either and just put magic dust on you. And all of a sudden it's gonna like a euphoric moment where you're gonna bust out and be like, oh my God, it's all been realized. My dreams have come true. But the moment that hit me in this journey that I went on was about letting go. The key to your success is not about efforting more. If you are stuck right now, despite you putting in the work, despite you putting in the hustle and grind, despite you actually doing things, right, to try to grow your business, but there's not consistency in it, it is time to see what can you let go of. What can you let go of? There's this great analogy of, I can't remember where I heard this, but imagine you're swimming underwater, right? You're in the ocean or lake, wherever, whatever body of water is most resonates with you. And you're swimming in and you're trying to get to the surface, right? The surface is where all of your answers are. Everything that you want is at that surface, and you're swimming to that surface. The surface is possible, but it's like, it's up there and you're swimming, and there is an anchor that's tied to your ankle. And that anchor is pulling you down. Okay? But nonetheless, you're like, okay, the anchor's there. I don't care. I'm just going to swim more. I'm going to swim more, right? The anchor is keeping you stuck to the bottom. Yet you swim more. This is what most people do. They try to swim. This is what I was doing back then, trying to swim to that surface. But here's the thing. When you can just let go of the anchor, when you can get rid of the anchor, all of a sudden you become light and you're able to swim. So the things that you're doing right now, okay, and this is one of the things that I do at all times in our business. We get so attached to doing things a certain way, right? We get so freaking attached. It's like, okay, I've got to do this certain strategy, or I got to do this certain tactic. And yes, consistency is important, but if you've been consistent and yet you're still stuck, something's got to go. Maybe it's a thought, maybe it's a belief that you have that has to be let go. Maybe it is a behavior or a habit that you are doing that has to be let go, right? Something has got to go, right? And it's cliche as it sounds, right? It's very cliche, I think, but it's very true, where the saying is you have to let go to let in. 1,000% true. In some of these conversations I was having, people are inevitably scared to move forward. They're scared to move forward and invest in themselves. Right? If you're a coach, you're going to have clients like this all of the time. You're going to have people that you're talking to that are going to be scared. Okay? They're going to feel stuck, but they're scared. And so the thing that I want you to really understand here about letting go is it's not about what we do, right? It's about who we are becoming. So when you can let go of something, it's stepping into who it is that you actually want to become. So if you're like, dude, I want to be a freaking coach that's generating $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is to you. Money's just money, right? A coach that's having impact, that's having the impact that you want, that's living the lifestyle that you want. How are they showing up? How are they showing up? How are they being? Are you being that way now? And if you're sitting here saying like, well, I'm gonna be that way when I get there, you're never gonna get there. You're literally just holding this freaking anchor to your ankle. It's like you've got to let go of all of the thoughts, all of the beliefs, all of the behaviors, all of the things that you're doing, if they're not serving you, of course, right? Let go and step into that person that you have to become. So that is the long and short of it, okay, of what I actually do. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bonus here, a little bonus mindset. And so you could consider this like the cream on top of the cake. A lot of us still get that, right? We may say, totally got that, right? It's not as easy, right? Sometimes it's harder to do the thing because it's easier to say it than to actually do it. But we still are gonna face a fear, right? Maybe you wanna hire a mentor like myself or somebody else, and the people that you're looking to sign up are gonna have the same thoughts, right, about you. There's gonna be a fear. You're going to come up and say, well, I don't know. What if it doesn't work out for me? What if I fail again? Or what if I fail just in general? Or what if I do the things that this coach is telling me, whether it's Jason or somebody else, and it just doesn't work for me? Well, guess what? You're a freaking entrepreneur. You chose this life. You don't have to. You can just go back down and you can go get a job right now, right? You're choosing to step into being an entrepreneur. And because of that choice, you have to own the responsibilities and you have to take control. And part of being an entrepreneur is there is no certainty. There is no certainty, okay? You have to understand that you are in a position that very few people are willing to even go into. So kudos to you if you're trying to be an entrepreneur right now. Like there's very few people that will do it. But you have to understand that you're going to face rejection. You're going to face failure over and over and over and over again. And it's not about that. It's about letting go of the failure and just extracting the lessons from it, right? So if you join a program and you don't succeed, first off, there's no such thing as failure, right? It's just like, why am I not winning? And then figuring out why you're not winning and start winning, right? It's just kind of looking at the lessons, but we get so attached to things, right? We get so attached to things that we let it get to us emotionally. And when you could start like detaching, letting go of the emotional side of things and start looking at stuff from a performance standpoint, like from a lesson standpoint. It's like, okay, if I'm not winning, if I am failing, right? Because you will fail. Like I'm the first to, maybe I'm not the first, but I want to tell you this, you will fail. It's inevitable that you will fail, but it's also inevitable that you will succeed. As long as you don't quit, okay? And so you will fail, but the true genius here is when you do fail, for instead of being emotional about it and being like, oh, boo-hoo, maybe I'm just not good enough or yada, yada, yada. It's just looking at the failure and saying, okay, why am I failing? Like look at it from a performance standpoint, right? So for example, if somebody's not winning in my program, what we do is we literally look at it and we say, okay, how is your messaging? Right? Is your messaging dialed in? Because, you know, I'm teaching people how to ultimately sell through live video, right? So it's like, is your messaging not dialed in? Okay, if we could check that, right? Then it's like, okay, how are you doing with hooking people in? How are your headlines? Are you enticing people, right? Are you captivating people? How are your CTAs? It's like looking at the actual things that we have control over. And if everything seems good, usually we have to go in here. We're like, okay, maybe you have a fear, right? Maybe are you not doing something because you have a fear? But you see how it all comes down to letting go, right? It's letting go and just letting ourselves step into who we want to be. And who we want to be is that freaking mother effing CEO that's in control of our business and in control of our life. So that's what I got for you today. I hope this is helpful. This is my mindset behind how I grow, and you know, the journey that started for me in that truck that day when I was staring inside of that rearview mirror, shaking, trembling, wondering if I was going to be a failure as a father, whether I was going to be able to ever pay myself again, which felt like years, sucked, right? But it turned out great for me. Got 2 kids, about to go on a week-long road trip with them. You know, I'm not here to brag or anything. I'm just trying to show you what's possible, right? You know, I've got more than enough. Just a few years ago, I didn't. And so if you feel stuck right now, just offer you the opportunity to try this on. All right. So that's what I got. So listen, if you're finding value again in these podcast episodes, my ask is, head on over to the School of Impact podcast, click that subscribe button. We're actually putting these on YouTube now too. So you may be watching this on YouTube, subscribe, just subscribe. Let me know what you think. I would appreciate you. All right. So remember, let go to let in, and you're going to succeed. All right. As always, remember, your message matters now more than it ever has before. People right now need to hear you. They need to see you. Okay. The world is flooded with negativity, with fear, with scarcity. Social media is just like slam full of it. You can either be adding to the noise or you can be cutting through that bitch. What do you choose? Okay, let's step up. All right? Have faith, stay focused, and take aligned action.